Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Lord of Nothing. As today we continue trying to get to the root of local issues. We've already taken care of 2 of 3, but I have to imagine we're going to meet some resistance on this third. Considering context clues here and, the repeated warnings about undead druids. We actually fought one of those back in the main campaign. The one in the stone forest. Shivra? Siabre? Someone will have to check me on that pronunciation. Huh. Look at that. We've got more ice. Oh, right, because this is the exterior wall of the village. Interesting. I wonder if that actually means something. I guess that would be a bit of a twist if the druid was actually our shard bearer. Well, let's gather more intel before we get too caught up in speculation. Let's clear the deadwood, then we'll see what we can find. Oh, got some perception checks. And we've got corrupted giant fly traps. Somewhere close to our central scythe tree. Maybe that's what the perception check was. Or they're just right out in the open. I guess that's also a possibility. But just in case we do have stealthy enemies. We'll go ahead and hedge our bets. Tempt them with easy targets. Excuse me? I set up a whole front line and you just walked straight through it. Rude. See, that guy knows what's up. Scythe tree out. Now the ads.
Don't hold back!
Ooh, goodness. Let's see how Grim fares. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. Oh, nice. Big hit on Brown.
I got this.
Nice, nice. Champions doing their job. Rank, why are you having such a hard time with that? I'm gonna have to double check your numbers later. Round 2. Could just be bad luck, though.
Strike!
Man, these things are actually tougher than the scythe tree was. That's actually pretty wild. Sir Brown in the red. There we go. That buys him some breathing room. Heal thyself. And we're good. Nice showing from the undead. Definitely a worthwhile addition to our arsenal. You know, undead ethics aside. Assorted vendor trash. Jade's spell component, I think. Graves plus altar with what must be our root. Scroll of Death Ward, that's a bit of a clue. Still nothing from the weird plants, which I'm assuming will be related to these druids. And we had that perception check. Uh-huh. Communal Protect, that's got to be for either the Shiva or the dragon. Oh, no, we might actually have no one who can use it. Interesting. Not without a used magic devices check, anyway. I mean, Kanos should be able to use it, but he's not here. So I guess we'll just sit on that for now. And we'll hold off on the graves till we finish poking around for clues. Get a better idea of what we might be up against here. Penta?
That didn't go as planned.
These ancient ruins are covered in abundant vegetation. Thanks, Penta. Hopefully that wasn't anything important. All right, let's get a look at those graves. Fendal the Groundsman spoke to stones, but was silent with people. Radra the Seafarer spoke to the dweller of the darkest depths, then never left dry land again. Alta the Silent knew secrets of men, herbs, and beasts, and kept them well. Tegar Warbletongue, birds gathered to hear him sing. Brab Sweettooth healed the body with potions and the soul with words. Viv Greencloak knew the mysterious paths. Interesting. 6 graves, 6 skulls. And we can apparently talk to you. Who goes there? A mummified body lies on the altar. A hoarse whisper emanates from its lifeless throat. Come closer. I'm Grim Caldera. I come in peace. Who might you be? Friend? I was one of the 7 high druids of Storasta. My city has been dead for 100 years, destroyed by demons. I wish to be laid to rest, but Karak won't let me. Old, mad Karak. Damn him. Tell me, we seek a creature with unnatural powers over ice. Does this Karak have such powers? I cannot help you there. For 100 years I have been lying here. How would I know what new creatures have appeared in the forest? Right, of course. Well, what can you tell us about Karak? Perhaps we can help each other. Karak, a mighty treant. He was the guardian of Storasta. But when demons came, he was just as powerless as all the other defenders of Sargeras. Most of us died, yet he lived and went mad. Now he defends the forest that grew in place of the city. Why? For what purpose? He himself does not remember, but he will never stop. Now listen closely. This is important. Karak must die. For the sake of the people and the Fae that he holds captive, and who he will never release. And for his own sake, too. He has suffered enough. And finally, also for my sake. I want peace. His power lies in the earth, and he holds on to it with 3 roots. One in the Fae settlement in their magical flower. It protects them from the creatures in the woods, and it holds them prisoner in the mortal realm. It's hard to talk sense into the Fae, but try to make them understand that without the flower they will be able to go home. The second root is guarded by an old man from the village, somewhere in the woods. And the third root... The third one is inside me. Lay me to rest, and Karak will grow weaker. Burn all 3 roots, and you will have a chance at defeating him. Wow, stuck in a rotting corpse for 100 years. That is pure nightmare fuel. Yes, of course, we'll do what we can to help. How would you suggest we go about doing that? There is a temple nearby. Take my body there and burn it in the ritual basin. I will rest at last. Then Karak will lose some of his power. Aren't you rooted in place? Wouldn't it be easier to just burn you here? Karak will try to stop you in either case. Should you go to the temple, he will send his minions to intercept you on your way. Yet it is still much less dangerous than what awaits you here. This graveyard used to be a calm and holy place. Now there is a terrible evil that lurks here. You would be wise not to awaken it. Noted. Then we will abide by your wishes. Don't worry. We'll get you properly taken care of. Thank you. If any of the gods of Sargeras are still alive, may they watch over you. Well, apparently at least one of them is still alive, because someone is now clearly watching over us. Oh, it's Karak. Well, that is not... That's like the opposite of what you just wished for, but okay. Also, delay poison's almost up. We'll need to move quick. We don't have an easy way to re-up that, not without stopping for a full rest. Though that is an option. Also, I'm not entirely clear on where to go, though... Actually, we did have a second staircase. We had one back near where we fought the slugs. Actually, yeah, we can see a staircase on the map. It clearly leads to an area we have not yet uncovered. But we should also move with some caution, since he did also very clearly state that we were apt to be intercepted. Yep, there we go. Thankfully, it does seem pretty light. I imagine we'll get hit harder the closer we get. Yeah, these things go down way easier than the corrupted ones did.
You're going down!
Alright, Rek, what's... Whoa, hold on. What's this? Folly of Chance. -4 luck penalty. Folly of Chance. You took a chance, and just when you were at the cusp of your greatest triumph, your good fortune left you. Curse effect. When in the world did we pick that up? How long has that been there? And more importantly, what can we do about it? I don't think we have anything to remove curses. Yeah, I mean, nothing's jumping out at me. Might have to grab something from Healer Mirren. Man, I'm really curious now when we pick that up. Like, no one else has it. It's literally just record. Yeah, see, like, Brown is missing shots, but he's just rolling badly. Record was actually missing because he was cursed, which I suppose makes it slightly less frustrating. At least now we know why he was missing.
Oh, look. Walking loot.
Took a chance. What did we take a chance on? Touching random plants, perhaps? Man, that's gonna drive me crazy. I think plant's a good bet. But I'll come back through the footage, see if I can pin that down.
I didn't break anything, did I?
And we're good. Nicely done, Raiders. And I suppose we shouldn't go back to the village while we're carting this corpse. So let's immediately loop over to those stairs, see if we can get that taken care of before we... Ooh. Did that do that last time we were here? I feel like that's new. That might be part of the Wrath of Karok. Since he is actively trying to stop us now. Oh yeah, see. Conveniently framing the path to the stairs. That definitely feels like it's something new. Though I was not expecting an entirely new area. Shoot, a bunch of our buffs are about to run out too. We'll do some scouting, but if things get hairy, we'll pull back to the village, get ourselves reset. Yeah, I think the thing that really killed us, buff-wise, were the forced passage of time events, burning the flower, crafting that anti-nymph potion. Those both advance the clock, which in turn seems to have eaten the vast majority of our buffs, minus communal delay and heroism. Oh ho, hello there. Is that old man Akhshan, our totally not dragon elder? Wow, what's he doing here? That is a good question, Record. But I imagine we'll find out shortly. Ooh, lore object, nice. Studies of Demons Lesser and Forgotten. The yellowed pages of this thick tome are peppered with notes. A gilded tassel marks the following fragment. The story of Sithud, who once ruled the icy abyssal wasteland of Juvamirak, is a most curious one. Demon lords often choose or reshape their realms to suit their looks and tastes, and Sithud, the frozen lord of the undead, was no exception. One may imagine what his realm looked like. Boundless snowy plains, razor-sharp ice ridges, frozen bones of the dead piled in mounds, and vicious wind scouring the very flesh off the bones of the living. He held Juvamirak firmly in his three-fingered claw, until another demon, Kostchi, began to look at his domain with envy. Naturally egocentric and competitive, demons gain their supernatural strength by feasting on each other, and one who has consumed enough of their peers may become a nascent demon lord. These creatures are capable of challenging any sovereign master of the abyss, but they are yet to attain their own titles. Kostchi was one such fledgling when he challenged Sithud and overcame him, despite the considerable power imbalance. We can only assume that there was another factor that tipped the scales in the younger demon's favor, but the details of that battle remain shrouded in darkness. Perhaps Kostchi had a secret weapon of some kind, or perhaps Sithud was vulnerable and unable to put up a good fight for some reason. We can hope that future generations of aspiring demonologists will unveil this mystery. And so Kostchi took Sithud's castle, and rules over Juvamirak to this day. And what of Sithud himself? For a long time he was presumed dead, his soul slumbering eternally in the Rift of Repose, a remote and hidden corner of the abyss where defeated demon lords go after their body's demise. However, more recent findings indicate that Sithud only lost his rank, and not his life. This is the only known case of a so-called demotion of a fully fledged demon lord to the lower rank of a nascent one. He is without a doubt still hiding from the deathless frost, somewhere in the mountains of Juvamirak, slowly regaining his strength and gathering his resources for a rematch. Intriguing. Not much there I think we can really make use of, but it is some fun context for the events surrounding this campaign. Though it does also provide some interesting context for the main campaign, since I think the main campaign also does revolve pretty heavily around the nature of demon lords. Though we'll just let Vex worry about that, I suppose. I'm sure he's got it handled. We'll just keep barking up this wrong tree. Oh. Ah, I see. Assorted undead. Nothing too serious, I think. Oh, shoot, right. That was a surprise round, I guess. There we go. Yeah, they'll go down easy. Though we should take steps to peel them off our squishier backliners. Hang in their record. We'll get that taken care of. Yeah, we'll have to grab like a potion or a scroll or something. Sadly, I don't think you can just dispel curses. And yeah, we'll not squander any resources on this fight. This is pretty basic stuff. Ow. Well, that stung a little. Hang in there, Brown. I've got your back. Nice. Wait, where's that? Oh! Hi. I didn't even realize you were up there. Okay, well that... Sure, yeah, why not? One sec, let me just finish these guys off real quick. Ow.
You son of run!
Nice. Also nice. And we're good. Undead clear. Let's go ahead and get ourselves topped off. Good enough. Yeah, I guess I should have been expecting another ambush like that. I was just distracted by old man Akhshan. Though I am spinning my wheels on why he's here. Hopefully he's not secretly working with Karok. Ooh. Record.
I serve the Crusades, strange as it sounds.
Proceed with caution. This does feel like a setup.
Agreed. Something's wrong.
Oop. Okay, multiple traps.
I managed.
Let's regroup real quick before we knock that out.
There's something here.
Ooh, sneaky.
The mission must be carried out.
All right, Rek, thread the needle. Oh, double sneaky. I actually just realized the first trap we found. The controls for that one are actually up the stairs. Door off on left. But let's go ahead and get this cleared first. I don't trust our party's pathfinding.
Using clever tactics now?
Actually, regroup. I keep expecting something to jump out at Record while he's off by himself, but thus far that has not happened. Still, no reason to let our guard down.
It's done.
Huh, alright. Really felt like a prime opportunity to divide and conquer, but let's check this side room first, then we'll hit the stairs.
One with the shadows.
Lights. Who's there? Ah, it's you. The old man who convinced the chief to listen to you is giving you a perplexed look. The locals don't come here. You really shouldn't either. Better go back. Nothing good can be found here. Well, that would certainly beg the question of what you're doing here. Do you not consider yourself a local? Akhshan, right? I don't think we were ever properly introduced. Yes, Akhshan's the name. And? Record looks into the old man's eyes, but the old man seems to have decided that his name will suffice. You're not just some regular old man if you're comfortable walking around ancient ruins filled with monsters. And the chief listens to you. So what's going on? You are correct, young man. I have my secrets, and I have absolutely no intention of divulging them to you. Let's just say, I'm old, and I know things. The chief listens to my counsel. And the ruins. There are many secret passages here. I've no reason to fear the monsters. Well, be that as it may. That still begs the question of why you're actually here. Wouldn't you like to know? Well, there's no harm in telling you, I suppose. You know that there's a dragon in these woods. Of course you do. You arrived just in time to see the show about how he helped found the village. We used to be at odds, and now there's a kind of truce. But dragons are fickle. What if he decides to attack the people again? Fortunately, dragons are also very greedy, so I'm placating him little by little. The old man shows you a handful of dirty gold coins. Many treasures can be found in the ruins of the city if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. We have no use for them, and the dragon loves shiny things. I bring everything I find here to him. A kind of tribute. Right, of course. About that dragon. I don't suppose it has any unnatural powers. Ice-related, perhaps? I noticed the patches of frost just off to my right there. And around the village. Go on. Look around if you must. I won't be stopping you. Goodness, that dragon must be awfully close. I can practically hear it from here. The deep rumble of its growl. And yet you seem entirely unafraid. Of course I'm afraid. He's big. He could swallow me in one bite. But he's never touched me. He likes presents, it seems. You, however, should definitely steer clear of him. Right, of course, and you're saying his lair is in these ruins. I'm just asking to know where to avoid. That's right. I'm telling you, keep clear if you don't want to be eaten by the worm. The normal old man said, a plume of normal human smoke emerging from his normal human nostril. Observation. Dragon lairs are usually full of treasure. Oh, you naive girl. A word of advice. You want to live a long life like me? Then think less about other people's treasures and more about giant pointy teeth. Message received. Well, we certainly wouldn't want to go dragging things out, so we'll leave you be. Now you're making sense. Go. Go. Well, thanks, old man. That's really very nice. We can always count on you for help and friendly advice. Though, as much as I hate to say it, I do think that's best avoided for the time being. At least until we've had a chance to reset our buffs. We still don't know what type of dragon it is. Obviously there's ice involved, but that's likely Sithud's shard. The dragon itself, at least based on that wand we found, is probably fire-based. Though it could also be copper. I mean, if we assume that old man Akhshan over there is, in fact, the dragon, that would match up with your classic copper dragon trickster vibe. In which case it would be acid. Did we just identify a non-magical shield? What's going on here? Oh, +3. Why is that not... Okay, whatever. We'll take it. That's a nice get for Kanos once we tag him back in. And that must be our altar. On your guard, people. Karok's not going to like this. Oh. I am free! You have my thanks! Please take my best equipment as a token of gratitude. It is in my grave. Bless you. Yeah, no problem. I've got to say, I was really kind of expecting a boss fight, but... Well, maybe that'll be once we go dig up your grave. We've also got a level up on tap, but we'll worry about that once we've gotten back to the village. We'll set that up right before we rest. Since clearly we are going to need to be in full form if we're going to mess with a dragon, which, you know, we are. It clearly has a shard, which really does imply we're going to have to end up fighting it one way or the other. Anyway, let's go grab our reward. Hey, we're back. Yeah, we're gonna just cut out that bit. Our delay poison ran out, so I had to navigate my way past all of the poison gas clouds on the way here. Though I will say, with delay poison out, I did take another stab at those weird flowers, and it turns out they're just, yeah, they're not good for you. The reason they didn't affect us before was because we had delay poison running. So, you know, good to know. Though I will say, it was not, in fact, the source of our curse. That is from all the way back in the Mage's Tower. The potion-strewn lab. Record accidentally stepped in a puddle. And has been cursed ever since. Dirge for Sarkarus. Magic Club. +2 keen heavy mace of Sarkorian make. Deals an additional 2d8 holy damage to undead and grants its wielder +2 to strength. Sounds like another really nice get for Kanos. Though I am a bit thrown by the fact that it's identified as a club in the header, but then described as a heavy mace in the description. A heavy mace would be a martial weapon, so I mean it must count as a club, which would make sense if it was also used by the former druid that we just put to rest. Actually, there's a couple of weird issues there. It's described as a keen mace, but it has a standard crit range. I guess we'll find out once we get back. Toss it to Kanos. No one else is using it. That said, I think that brings us to a good place to call it. We've got this level up in the queue, so I'll have to take care of that before we do much else. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll figure out what we're doing with these level ups, get our guys rested and rebuffed, and we'll pick up here next time. As I imagine, we'll find ourselves faced with a branching path. The dragon or the treant. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
That didn't go as planned.